local news, politics, business, sports, arts, music. Mike and Marty on the feed. Mike and Marty. Mike and Marty.
Good morning, Bellows Falls, and welcome to the feed in Rockingham. Sorry. It's the 13th of October.
You're going to say September, weren't you?
Yeah, I was. And here we are on the feed. Today we have Matt Meserve is going to be with us. He's going to talk about Working Fields, a program that's new out of Turning Point in Springfield. But first, Marty, with some local events.
Lots of local events today. Thursday night, this week at the Bellows Falls Opera House, is a free showing of the locally filmed and locally edited, too.
Yes.
Right? Locally edited, and it's a long entry, The Atomic Attack of the Son of the Seaweed Creature.
Yes.
So, filmed back in 2000.
Filmed in 2000. On film.
On film. That's why it took so long to edit.
On film. But in 2000. Anyway, go ahead.
Edited in 2018, and they're doing a free showing. And I'm going to guess that some of the folks that were in it are going to be there.
Yes,
So,
I think a lot of the cast
Yeah.
is going to be there. It's actually the cast is sort of sponsoring the event, and then the producer who wrote, directed, starred in, and edited will be there. I think he's going to say his name is Brett Allen Fessenden. He's going to speak a little bit
Nice.
beforehand to talk about this whole process. It is. I mean, I've watched it, and it is a crazy campy movie.
Campy movie?
Yes.
And that's at 7 p.m. So that's, again, it's a free showing. It's at 7 p.m. at the Bellows Falls Opera House. Tonight at the Bellows Falls Opera House is Rear Window, sponsored by Tom Call. Next Wednesday is The Fountainhead, sponsored by Green Mountain Traffic Control. And the last Wednesday of the month, the 27th, is The Birds.
Yeah, another
Classic
scary.
Alfred
I
Hitchcock.
can remember when that came out. It was so scary.
No
Yeah.
kidding. I've never seen it. I don't think I've ever seen it on the big screen. That's sponsored by JP Trekking. This weekend up at the Rockingham Hill Farm is the Flannel Festival. On Saturday, the hours are 11 to 5. On Sunday, it's 11 to 4. There's music, there's craft beer, there's pies, there's vendors, there's food trucks.
Yes.
There's a cornhole competition in conjunction. Rockingham Rec is helping with that. There is pie bake-off. I have a sense that maybe the Smiths might be entering
we've
a pie.
been researching pies
Researching
for the last
pies.
week. I've had to be the test.
Oh, you've had to be the tester.
I was doing my part. I had to try all these apple pies, and Sue's come out with a revolutionary technique that I don't know if she's going to unveil it or not.
Well, you probably shouldn't. You shouldn't.
Well, I'm just saying it's
Yeah,
revolutionary.
revolutionary. And then this Saturday is the induction into the Terrier Hall of Fame. They're actually inducting 2 classes. They're going to announce the folks at the football game Friday night. It's a home game.
neat.
I think it's the last home game, and it's a big game with Springfield. So it's
Oh
always a big
boy, yeah,
rivalry.
that is the big game.
So the 2020 class inductees are Chad Illingsworth, Chris Hodgson, and Mary Farino. And the 2021 inductees are Heather Warius, Kim Wilkinson, and Jim Holton.
Wow.
So congratulations to those folks.
Yeah.
They join a community of 49 other folks that have been inducted, and their goal is to recognize people that contribute to the terrier community.
Great.
So I think that's it.
That's it for local
Yeah,
events?
that's it for local events.
Well, I want to introduce Matt Meserve. He's with us today via Zoom. Hi, Matt. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, so usually you do this part. So I'll take over. So what we'd ask you to do, Matt, is just tell us a little bit about who you are, and then maybe start talking a little bit about Working Fields and how you got connected with Working Fields.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, I'm Matt Meserve, and I'm the account manager for the Working Fields office in Windsor County. I got connected with Working Fields due to I have a pretty lengthy history in human services and mental health services and disability services, but I'm also in long-term recovery from substance use disorder. So I actually just celebrated 8 years, which is fantastic.
Good.
And yeah, so it's been really wonderful to kind of combine my passions of human services, but also now work in the recovery field professionally for the first time.
Yeah. So Working Fields, I guess technically is a staffing agency, but it's a unique staffing agency, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. And maybe you could tell us a little bit about, I guess I should, maybe people don't know what a staffing agency is, but maybe you could tell us what that is and then what makes Working Fields unique in the field of staffing agencies.
Yeah, sure. So your traditional staffing agency will has contracts with employers and will then work to place individuals there on kind of a temporary trial basis, and then the hope is at the end of the contract that that person converts and becomes a full-time employee of the company. So we operate in that manner like a traditional staffing agency. But really where we differ is our commitment to those that we place and support. So we are a mission-driven staffing agency that we really focus on people who have barriers to employment. We work a lot with folks with substance use disorder. We work a lot with folks with criminal backgrounds, but really anyone that has any barrier that keeps them from getting a job or getting the job that they want. So we really believe in people. We believe in our ability to grow and change, and that everybody deserves a second chance, and that having a job and being productive and useful and is a big part of recovery, and it's a big part of feeling good about yourself and self-esteem and self-worth. And a lot of people with these challenges have just been kind of marginalized and aren't given that second chance. So we're out there trying to change the stigma around that.
That's great.
And and we've had some really good success.
Nice.
Because I guess you sort of hit on all of the aspects. Because work is so important to us. It's a sort of many people, especially in America, I guess, or in the United States, work becomes your identity. It's like when you first meet somebody, they don't say, where are you from? They usually say, where do you work or what do you do? And so we so often see that as our identity. So it's such a nice thing that you're working on people to help them move toward that. And I guess the other thing that's unique is as you work through, you assign recovery coaches, right? Which is, or like a job. Are they a job recovery coach or a both, an all
All-inclusive recovery?
all-inclusive sort of idea?
Yeah. So the recovery coach, it's an amazing program, and so a recovery coach is someone's main. They're a cheerleader, they're a support, they're there mainly to listen more than they talk and to help people strategize around what's going on in their lives, specific to employment and those barriers, and how can we strategize and find resources to, remove those barriers, but also what are their goals in their life? What are they working towards? And a recovery coach is just such a great resource to talk those things through, and they're certified and they're trained in motivational interviewing and listening, and it's just been an amazing program, and it's a peer as well. I mean, most recovery coaches are in recovery themselves, so instead of going to a so-called expert that's going to tell you what you need to do, it's more about having a peer who will listen to you while you figure out, what you need to do, because really someone we all are our own best expert at our life and our recovery. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
go ahead.
go ahead. What are some of the challenges that the folks face? What are some of the challenges that you help support folks with?
Oh, sure. Well, I mean, a lot of the challenges we're facing, and I think a lot of people are facing, there's always an issue around transportation to a job. Childcare is often a barrier. Housing is a barrier. We all know about the housing shortage here in Vermont right now. But also too going to bat for people to say, hey, I have this significant experience, and just because I am diagnosed with substance use disorder, or I have these criminal charges in my past, doesn't mean that I'm not worth a second chance. And often we find that someone who has kind of been to a very low place and fought hard to get themselves out of there, they are some of the most loyal, dependable, hardworking employees you can want. So not only are we helping our associates by finding them jobs, but we're also really providing, we are an excellent staffing agency as far as finding, workers with this labor shortage as well. So it really is, we're filling such a need, and it benefits the people that we're placing in jobs. It benefits the companies that are benefiting from those employees, and really our community as a whole. Yeah.
So how does it, I have two questions, actually.
All right.
Twofold question. How does it work for the employers? Like how do they contract with you, and how does that look? And then how does it work for the employees? Does someone just walk in the door? Do they have an initial interview with you? I mean, walk us through both of those paths.
Sure. So from the employer side, we sign contracts. So, I mean, if anyone, is watching this that is an employer, or, works for a company that's looking for people, you certainly can reach out to us. And you can go right on workingfields.com, and there's a way to contact us there. So, so then once a contract is signed with an employer, and we've kind of gone over all those fine details of how it's going to work and the compensation, then we can start placing employees there. So it's the same contact right up there that he just shared, where you can email second chances at workingfields.com, or really the best way is to call on the phone. So if you're someone in our area who's wants to explore our services and help to get a job, if you call that number there, it's going to get routed to someone who's going to do a quick 5-minute phone screen, just get some basic information, and then they'll schedule an appointment right with me in my office, and we'll get to work, and we'll get to knowing each other. That's really another big benefit of our model, is we really take the time to get to know someone, and what kind of skills do they have, and what kind of job are they looking for. We're not looking to just put someone in a job where they're maybe not going to be happy or feel fulfilled. Our goal is to help people in long-term placements. So
Yeah. So as far as the employers go, the people who have jobs, this is actually a neat thing, because you're sort of pre-screening. So because it's to your benefit, it's to the program's benefit that people succeed in their jobs. And so you're doing
absolutely.
So you're doing a pre-screening and saying, well, I'm going to get someone who's the best fit for your job. And I think that's something that people might not quite comprehend, but you're just not putting anyone in there, that you know what the job is, you're pre-screening, and maybe even doing some coaching before the interviews and stuff like that. Am I right? Or
Oh, you're absolutely right. So this is where we're a big benefit to employers. So, right, not only are we taking the time to get to know someone, which really some of the larger national staffing agencies kind of are just trying to fill those numbers, right? Mm-hmm. They're trying to place people. So we're really getting to know them. There absolutely is coaching involved before we present them. And then the other benefit is, during the whole time that they are an employee of Working Fields, even though they are placed in that company during that temporary period, our contract is for 5 months. So for those 5 months, we are available to those employers. So if there is an issue going on, that someone is struggling to find transportation, The employer contacts us, and I immediately reach out to the placed employee. I reach out to their recovery coach, and we strategize around it. So what we're
Oops. I think we may have lost Matt there.
We did. I was just going to comment that, so from what I'm hearing, it's a win-win for the employer
Oh, yeah.
because,
Yeah.
so
I
they
lost
get,
you there. For a
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
We got, you're back.
You're back.
We were just sort of saying that it was a win-win for employers because they get,
they get a pre-screened employee, and then they get an employee that